Stephen's bit of vintaging is, I found this old Lucas, I think it's written there if I can get it to focus. Lewis scratched it a bit there with sandpaper. Lucas, England, and 64 is stamped on it as well. C. So I checked it there with ammeter, seems to be working, and I just said I'd throw it in just in case. You know yourself, these old Lucas parts, electrical parts, they can be better than the more modern ones. So I'm just going to throw it into the distributor and see if it makes a better spark or not. So that's the Lucas, very old Lucas capacitor or condenser there fitted. I like to put on my own earth myself, and I bolt that down to another bolt there. So it's just something I like to do. I like to make sure it's getting a good earth. So, and obviously then you check in behind the distributor shaft to make sure it's not touching that as well. It's not going to make a whole lot of difference if it is, but it's not ideal. So I just set the time in there as well, and using my timing light, put in my screwdriver underneath the starter through the flywheel, turned the distributor clockwise to get it just before the lobe on the distributor lobe there, the little camshaft there, and I just turned it back anti-clockwise just until the points opened. The light went out then because it broke the connection with earth, and so that's the timing set. I never find this really runs very well with the timing set perfectly anyway, strange enough. But look, I noticed the points were getting a little bit corroded, more than anything really. There was a lot of pitting on them, so I said I'd try that, and after checking it with the multimeter it looks like it is working. So we'll see, does it improve things over time. There are a few condensers, right? This is a very old Lucas one. Now, from the bit of research that I'm after doing, this thing is late 1940s or mid 1940s by the looks of things. So I'm just going to test it here. So what these do, this is a capacitor. They're also, you know, the condenser capacitor, really, you know, that's what they're usually called. So to test them, you put a charge into it, and then you check the voltage in it. So I'm going to put a small charge into it there. So positive on there, negative there, right? And then check the volts in it there. 16, 12, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So it goes down slowly. So this actually looks like it is working. And if you look at the reading there, it is slow to go back. So I'm going to compare this to a newer one now in a minute. So that's a perfect test as well. You see for a second it went up 1.5, so that's perfect, right? So same thing, it's slowly going down. So I don't know, that looks like it is actually working. If we take a more modern one now, right, from what I could see before, these modern ones go down a lot quicker. So same thing, we'll throw a bit of charge into it there. Should come 6, 7. This seems to be going up. So I don't know, is that one working? It's minus and everything. Unless it shouldn't matter which way these are put. Yeah, so that's going up. I don't know, is that right? That one working at all, but we'll check another one here. So let's throw a little charge into it there first. Let's see how it works. So that's going up. Yeah, so the Lucas one seems to be, if you ask me, working the best. It's very slow at releasing the charge, and that's what these are designed to do. Like, they're designed to take the whack out of the spark. they're all going up, whereas the Lucas, you put your charge into it, the charge in and then let it out. It's slowly coming down. So I don't know, that seems to be the one that I'd pick out of the bunch, and it's definitely the oldest. It's interesting. A quick timing check just since I'm roughly changing the condenser. So I have this bulb, right? The positive is going to the positive side of the coil, fed by the ignition, key ignition, and the negative is going to there. So when the points open, it breaks the connection to earth and the bulb goes out. So if I turn on the ignition now, that bulb should light. So that lights. And now what I do is I'm going to spin this distributor until the point's open, breaks the connection with earth. There you go. Right there. And then I simply tighten up my clamp down here. That is timing set. Points are set to 16 thousandths of an inch. So that gives 2 degrees as well. Retarded, so we can take that off. That's this timing. I think it's called static timing. So ignition is off, no shock. Advanced springs seem to be working good. I'm just going to spray a bit of oil down in there while I'm at it. No harm to keep them lubricated. Not too much. So that's that. We'll just check our spark now. Turn over the engine. Get on a flat low. Get screwdriver. Small screwdriver. Let's check on the ignition. It's on the flat part of the lobe there. So that's definitely what we call a spark anyway. It never comes out well in the videos. Okay, so that's that. Off with our ignition. Get the points quick clean as well. On with our dust cap. On with our rotor arm. I suppose a little rub of that sandpaper will clean him. It's just, there's always a little bit of a black edge on them there from rubbing. I cleaned the distributor cap as well. The brass connections in it were a little bit black. So on with that. Okay, distributor cap connections. Give them a bit of a clean up. Quick last look at them now. And our little carbon brush, if you want to call them that, is in place. It's on the spring. That's important too. What way does this go now? This way. Okay, 1 clip, 2 clips. And that lead came off the plug very easy, so just make sure that that makes a good connection. Yeah, that's good. A little bit of maintenance. And, I thought it was interesting with the capacitors, right? The old one seemed to be working better. Now, if anyone has any information on this, or you know roughly how old it is, I was searching on eBay there for 1960s Lucas condensers, and they looked a lot more like, you know, your usual type. This seems to be very old. I can't really see anything now. There's 6, 4. There's B, 2 stamp each side of it. J, 6, 4, Lucas, England. I can't find any part number on it. I suppose I could clean it down a bit more. But it's definitely an old specimen, that now. Very interesting. Okay, so I did fit a new needle valve into the flow chamber. Probably see that in a few videos back. And I noticed there it was actually leaking there. I left on the fuel and it was leaking again. So you just can't trust these modern parts at all. So next time I'm in there, I'm just going to fit the old one back in, I think. So that's it started up there now. It was a bit loud and spluttery when I started because of that needle valve was probably filling the intake a bit with petrol. But I didn't use choke, and that was only going to add insult to injury. So sounds good there now so far. Happy with that. So I let it warm up there. The sun really brings out the gold paint. It looks class in the sun. So that's it. It's just a bit of general maintenance, I suppose. One thing I've noticed as well, I'm very happy I did, was paint those badges. It really does bring out, gives a nice contrast to the grey. And I do like it without the vertical exhaust. I think it really kind of shows off the lines of the bonnet and stuff, and you get a bit better visibility without the exhaust of Alachart and Tumberfad Toscatini. But one thing I will say about that downward exhaust, the Sharva Glor, it's very, very, very loud. I don't think the same qualities in the bafflers as there used to be, and as I probably showed before, I do have an original vertical exhaust that came with this tractor there, and that's stamped a Burgess exhaust, so that's the factory one, I would say. So I will, for the fun of it, fit it, but I can't get out the door, so one of the jobs that's on the agenda is to heighten that door, because I'm not cutting that exhaust. I had to cut the exhaust on the Ferguson 20 diesel, and I spent a long time trying to get one that actually sounded good, and it was a right pain having to cut it. So that door is going to be lifted up about another foot and a half, and I'll be able to try this out then with the vertical exhaust and see does it sound any different, because it's nice to have the choice. So we've taken one load of stone home, and it was running a little bit lean there, so we just had to do a little bit of an adjustment on it for kerosene. So I'm just letting the heat up there again, and we're going to go back and get a second load now. So now we have a nice load on this time, biggest load I've taken yet. And since I've done the timing on it now and played around with the condenser, I have to say it's running very well. It's not missing a beat, so that's probably near enough. I'll throw a few more small ones in because I do have to fill a hole, so the ones that I won't use for building, I'll throw them into the hole.